Hi, my name is Liz Hathway and this is my astrological look at the week ahead, and that's the week starting Monday, July the 15th, 2019. So we're still in eclipse season. We had on July the 2nd, we had the solar eclipse, and now 2 weeks later, we're getting the accompanying lunar eclipse, because we're talking here about a cycle, one round, shall we say, of relationship between sun and moon. The new moon was an eclipse solar, and now the full moon is an eclipse lunar. Eclipses are, to me, how I see them, is as ruptures, as breaks in the natural order of things. They are a full stop in a sentence. They are moments where we're advised to pause, to take a breath, to take a look at the intonation, look at how we're going to take that sentence further. They're breaks in the fabric, in the fibre, and they're important moments because they give us an opportunity to stop and reflect and get away from the madness of every day and really look at things from a very organic, very deep perspective. So we've got the moon in Capricorn on Monday. It's a strange eclipse because the moon rules all the Cancer planets, doesn't she? So she's a feature anyway, even though she's going to be eclipsed. But certainly all those Cancer planets, they are very much, we've got Sun and Venus in Cancer at the moment. And so there's a lot about self-interest here. There's a lot about protectionism, about core values. Jupiter's exalted in this sign. It's about getting back as well, maybe to, your own primary areas of interest. The North Node is involved. Look where this solar energy is falling in your chart. There's some call here for some rethink, some reassessment, some setting of goals, some recognition perhaps of, your feelings about things. Because that's the interesting thing about eclipse, when you recognize your feelings about something, when you understand them, when you pause and look at them, they can somehow then fall in line. They can somehow then work with you as opposed to against you. But yeah, the moon anyway, let's just reflect now from the beginning and run through the week. On Monday, we have that moon going into Capricorn. I say it's a very conservative moon in many ways. Never change a winning team. This is how we do things here. This is the culture of the company. This is how it works. This is how we stand, because the moon is always we, the people, all of us too. But, it's a kind of outmoded, outdated, maybe outplayed sort of way of interacting in the collective area, because the moon as well is very much about the collective arena. So there's something here that is no longer working, is no longer relevant for where we are now. And that same applies, of course, to us in our personal lives. Something about that moon in Capricorn is sort of showing us where things have become crystallized, where they've become frozen, where they've become solid. And on Tuesday, the moon on the south node, the moon conjunct Pluto, which is very much coming up, the build up into this eclipse. It's a kind of build up to that full stop, to that pause. It's maybe a moment to at least consciously think about and set an intention and imagine what life could be like if you could let go of X, Y, or Z, where your feelings are holding you back. Just to focus on that and hold that in your thoughts for a while can really set things in motion and bring about some changes. So powerful eclipse there in the last decan of Cancer, that is on Tuesday. Wednesday we have Venus in Cancer, very cozy Venus, very intimate, very much, you belong to me, you're mine. Cancer is very concerned with what belongs to me, what's mine, what I can cherish, what I can keep to my heart. It's that heartfelt longing as well, because Venus is also entering into a trine with Neptune, where reality can take a hike. This is where we're going to surrender anyway to that feeling of oneness, that feeling of wholeness. But also, yeah, some kind of higher self guiding us as well. But yeah, Venus is earlier, she trines Neptune on Thursday, but first she has to make some kind of a commitment and recognize maybe as well with Venus opposite Saturn, what is and what isn't possible, because Saturn is about separation opposite to Venus. It's about what isn't possible either through circumstance or through personalities or through other, you know, commitments that you might have elsewhere, even though you would like to. But then again, on Thursday, that caution is almost thrown out the window, and there is that sense of embrace and entering and engaging and being one with, you know, the other. On Friday, Mercury retrograde is retrograding back into Cancer, which is emphasizing that whole Cancerian thing of core values, how we do things here. This is you know, what we feel we need to do. You know, it's a kind of, Cancer is very much about the personal. It always is about what's mine is mine, and what's yours might be mine as well, actually. And then we see on Sunday we have Venus opposite Pluto. So there we see as well, when you get into that idea of what's yours is mine, Pluto's going to say, hang on a minute, no, it's not. You know, there's a certain face-off with Venus-Pluto, I feel. There's a sense of Pluto recognizing the insecurities in Venus, knowing where the soft spot is, knowing what buttons to push. Deeply psychological planet, Pluto, being implicated as well in that lunar eclipse. There's maybe something to be got back here, some element of revenge or some element of jealousy or some element of, you know, I'm going to sort of take you out here. You know, I'm going to show you that I'm not completely dead in the water. There's still a lot of power in this apparent dead horse, you know. There's a lot of punch there with that opposition on Sunday. And then we have on Sunday as well, the sun moving right into, Mercury moving right into the heart of the sun, right in that, you know, tight zone where the Mercury is touching the ear of the king. But again, the main theme here with Mercury Cancer, it's personal interest, it's core self-interest, what's right for me, Jack. Yeah, so it's a really, really mixed bag. And I think in the collective, certainly, when there's a lot of tension going on at the moment with the US and Iran. And this particular eclipse is I think it is relevant to the US because, of course, they have Pluto in Capricorn. So and Pluto in the US chart is in Capricorn in the second house. So it's very much pulling into that own interest, into big money, into resources, into power. This sort of deep powerhouse that Pluto in 2 is. But yeah, on a more personal level, I think this is very much about the challenge to stop and pause and look at what feelings and what ways of expressing our feelings are outmoded. And we don't have to necessarily do anything with them. I think it's very much about actually allowing them the light of the sun, that they can be seen in all their darkness. Okay, that was my look at the week. Thank you for listening. Have a good one. Bye.